was there eventually. Okay, let's get this show on the road, please. What's that?
The agenda.
Bless you.
And Tom does too.
Good morning, everybody, and we welcome the board, we welcome the committee chairman, and we always welcome visitors. So thank you for coming. I hope you'll be influenced to return. We have a full agenda, so we'll get started right on time. We do have a full agenda, so we'll get started. I'd like to start our invocation with a moment of silence, and I'd like for us to think about our Willowbrook and OBT neighbors in particular, and people around the world that are suffering. It's a crazy world, so let's have a moment of silence for them. Amen. Okay, call to order. We got a quorum?
Yes, sir, we do.
All right. We'll start right off with approval of the minutes for the last meeting on January the 15th. Anybody have any additions or corrections to the minutes? Do I hear a motion? We approve them. Second?
Second.
Approval, minutes are approved. Treasurer's report, Marie Oakes.
Good morning. We began the month with $28,184. We had income for memorial leaves of $50. We had dues and Tippy's house of $615. And if you don't know who Tippy is, he's our new resident bird.
She's who?
Our new resident bird.
Oh, yeah, I'm with you.
Okay? So
I'm
you
with
should
you.
go over to the new cottages and
East.
see Tippy's house. It's quite astounding. And interest income of $5. I voided Christmas checks for $1,348. And one of those voids happened to go through the washing machine, so that's why we reissued one of the Christmas checks for $5.99. Wood shop supplies, $273, and a new train car for $85, leaving a balance of $29,245. Are there any questions? Okay, well, have a great day.
Okay, thank you, Marie. Scott, you ready?
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
I just have a few updates today, not too many, but the first is hiring updates. I always start with that. And knock on wood, we are full leadership team-wise right now, so that's a wonderful thing. So we want to keep it that way, make sure we've got the right people in the right spots. Our last ones were the culinary team, and I think you've all been pleased with Chris, our new restaurant manager, so I think we're on the right track. The ASSA director meeting took place this past Tuesday, so a couple days ago, and the forum will take place on the 26th, so that's coming up in a couple of weeks. Team member engagement survey at 2 team member town halls today. I shared our community results, and there was a video sharing ACT's overall results for team member engagement survey. What I plan to do is send out the video in advance of the forum, which is in 2 weeks, So you can see the ACT's overall results, and then at the forum, I will share our community-specific results with you all. So overall, we did quite well, and we're pleased about it, but there's opportunities for improvement, and I'll share what our next steps are as well. Recent weather events have caused, or did cause some challenges, but I thank you all for your patience and understanding throughout. And we had so many team members that went above and beyond and did what they needed to take care of all of you and each other. So that was a great team building experience as well. And food forum, which I may be stealing some of Judy's, was yesterday, and I thought it was very well. It was well attended. There were over 60. I did make a count, so over 60 in attendance, and I just encourage everyone to attend those moving forward. They will be on a monthly basis. Some great information is shared, and then there's a question and answer session as well. And lastly, just as I was walking in to this meeting, I was made aware that the resident leadership team, my email group may not be up to date. So I will look at Carolyn's most recent list of email addresses for the leadership team, resident-wise, and make sure that I have my list current as well. So that's where you get the asset director updates and any communication I share with just you individually and ask you to pass on to others. So appreciate all you do for us, and any questions for me?
Could you explain Code Red?
Sure.
It was in there today, but who gets it and when and that sort of thing?
Yeah, our code, ACTS has a Code Red system. It's with a company called OnSolve, and it is, the intent is for it to be used for emergency situations, not like, hey, there's a forum today, because then it would not be important. So if there's an important announcement that Anna, myself, Stephen, even Aaron from security determine that we need to send out, then we can send it out specific to first floor east. We can send it out to any floor. We can send it to west cottages. We can send it to east cottages, or we can send it to all residents. So that's kind of the intent of it. We don't want to overuse it, but we want to use it
Is it
appropriately.
a phone call, text, or email?
There's a number of ways to do it. There's phone call, there's text, but text is limited by the number of characters that we'll accept. So I know I've sent out messages before that were longer than the text would handle, so it just cuts it off. No good. So if it's a short message, we'll send it out via text and voice message. If it's a long message, it'll just go voicemail likely. I did find out recently that emails, not everyone's email is in the system, so we'll use that less often, the email.
Can you say again what the number is that will show up?
I can't say it right now because I don't know it, but every time I find out there's a new number, I ask you to add it to your phone, so just put it as Code Red, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever number, however you want to do it. But every time I do find that out, I will share it with you.
Okay.
And there's a 5-digit text number that comes out, I guess. You can do the same thing. So that's, Code Red is, I'm reaching out to them constantly saying, why are you telling me it should come from this number when it came from this number? Oh, well, it could come from that number. Yeah, I said, well, but then it shows up as spam for my residents, and they're not going to listen to it. So I need to know what numbers they could come from, and if it comes from another number, let me know so that I can let everybody know. Great question, though. Thank you.
Thank
Anything
you, Scott.
else? Thank you all.
Any other questions of Scott? He's very transparent. We're very blessed that he will answer most any question. May not be the answer we want, but. Okay, President's remarks. I was told that the bylaws require us as a board to nominate and approve not nominate, but approve the committee chairs. So I would like this board to make a motion and a second and vote to accept the committee chairs, who are the following, in case: bylaws, Augie D. Augustinus; culinary, Judy Lee; housekeeping, Pam Ellis; landscaping, Shantha McDonald; legislative affairs, Larry Jewett; life engagement, Sandy McCray; maintenance, Farrell Singleton; and memorials, Regina Edmondson. So I would entertain a motion that we approve.
I'll make that motion.
We got a motion from Robert Mills. We got a second. All in favor of our committee chairs, say aye. Aye. Approved. Thank you very much. All right, good. I sent you out an assignment. and I'm not going to ask you if you did it, but I'm assuming that you were all good students and did what your teacher told you to do. But why are we here? Why do we have an association, and why are we important? And I noticed, and I'm sure that you all saw this, there is a specific purpose of the Residents Association, and you all are important key members of that. And so I'm going to reread the purpose, so bear with me just for a minute. This is in Article 2 of the bylaws. The purpose of the association shall be to provide the residents of LVE with a formal means of communication through which they might, 1, express their concerns over matters affecting their well-being as residents, and we see that through the committees. People express their opinions and we take action. Have discussions on matters affecting the community, communicate and cooperate with LVE administration and acts management. And I feel like management does what they can to help us and are transparent and listen to our concerns, and I appreciate that. Make appropriate recommendations on policies, projects, and problems involving significant numbers of residents. And I know that Judy Leak, as chairman of the Culinary Committee, can make a good report on that one. And protect and enhance the rights and prerogatives of the residents. So we as representatives are important to our fellow residents in our community, and I thank you and commend you for serving. Are there any questions as to what our purpose is? Okay. Our nominating committee, this is a little premature, but we're required in the first meeting to get a nominating committee together, and we have them together now. You get 2 from East, 2 from West, 1 from East Village, 1 from West Village. These are the 2 from East Village and West Village. We got Barbara Roper from West, and we've got Robert Mills from East. We got Peggy Gracie from East, who is not here today, and Brian from West. So we have a full slate for the nominating committee. They will not really start doing anything until later in the year, but they will be soliciting you for potential prospects, and so be looking particularly at newer folks on your hall that may want to step in. Okay, I'll make other remarks later, but at this point I'd like to start with our committee reports. Augie, do you have a report? Yes, sir. Okay, bylaws, Augie, he has a meeting scheduled, I believe, for the end of this month. He has his committee put together, so they're moving ahead. Culinary, I know you've got a report, Judy.
Good morning.
Morning, Judy.
I would just echo what Scott has said about the great attention to detail that various aspects here at the village gave us during the weather problems. We acknowledge culinary in particular at our meeting because they slept here, they kept us fed, they did a great job. Several dates I wanted to remind you of. The Valentine's Day dinner is on the 13th. It's coordinated with the mixer in the clubhouse. Several other dates. On February 17th, there's a Mardi Gras theme night. The 20th, there's a Chinese New Year's theme night. And then on February 16th, we'll have new a la carte items on the Mountain View menu. Culinary has been in training on the new ACTS Well-Being Program, and we'll be incorporating those healthy items into our menus. Chris Horak introduced the new Server of the Month program, and we would encourage you to participate. Residents will actually be selecting the Server of the Month, someone who's provided or consistently demonstrates outstanding performance. You'll fill out a comment card, and then that person will be publicly recognized and also will receive a gift from the culinary department. Brian has reminded the residents about their favorite ice creams, put it on a comment card. He promises he's going to get it. And yesterday at the food forum, he announced that he'll be incorporating yogurt into that as well. So let us hear from you. Anna, I really appreciate her being instrumental in helping us prioritize the number of project recommendations we received from the committee. I think there were, 24, something like that, and she really did a good job in helping us focus on the first three we want to concentrate on. The first is enhancing the food forum by increasing participation, resident attendance, and I'm glad to say yesterday we met our 10% goal of the resident population, so that was a great thing. We're going to also do staff spotlights. We met people on the panel yesterday that probably most of you never see and wouldn't know what their names were. So that was very helpful to hear from them. As a part of that, we're going to start the Ask Chad program. We're stealing Scott's thunder from Ask the Director. And this is to gather resident insight. Just send your questions to any committee member, and we'll compile them and give them to Scott and Anna ahead of time, of course, so they can research the answers. And then we'll present that at the next food forum. We'll have answers to all your questions. So again, encouraging your attendance. Our second project is to pilot in the bistro a fresh, healthy eating concept, such as a protein bowl. So we're excited about seeing how that comes together. And then the third project that we're working on immediately is to enhance the real-time resident feedback. This feedback, if we hear from you immediately when there's a concern or a congratulations would be nice. But it's helpful to provide us with ways we can immediately improve and address any challenges that arise. So let us hear from you. Ask for a supervisor, a manager, explain what your concern is so we can address it. And then our additional projects will be addressed in the future. Any questions? No, I gave a comprehensive report. Thank you.
To piggyback on what she's saying, 2 items. They want feedback immediately. If you're eating and you have a steak that you think is not prepared right, don't just fuss about it and tell all your neighbors about it. Tell them right then. Get the server and the supervisor. They want immediate feedback so they can fix that problem and get back to the person that maybe prepared that. That's their real-time training. The second thing is this Server of the Month. That's a really nice recognition program they're initiating. So please take the time when you're in Mountain View or downstairs and you just know that someone's been down there a while and they do a great job. Take the time to nominate them. It'll be disappointing if we only get 4 or 5 nominations a month. So please, as hall reps, promote this. District reps, promote this to your people, because we all have favorites, and this is a great way to recognize them. Okay, housekeeping, Pam.
Thank you, Stryler. I just want to say ditto to, this is on my list to talk about the real-time feedback regarding housekeeping too. That comes up in every meeting, that if you can take the time to contact somebody in housekeeping about what is not up to your standards or your satisfaction in real time. The closer to when it happens or when you discover something and that you don't understand. And I've said this before, and I want to reiterate that it's not complaining. Every time somebody comes to me or their neighbors, with a lengthy story of what was wrong with their last cleaning or something, I say, you need to come to the meeting, talk to Lupe, talk to Shanda, talk to Anna. Oh no, I don't want to complain. It is not complaining. It's complaining if you just talk about it at the dinner table and hold in.
And tell your neighbors.
Yeah, and tell your neighbors. And this was going to be the end, but I really want to invite everybody to come to our housekeeping meetings. I will tell you when they are. I know a lot of people go to the culinary meetings, and maybe you learn so much when you hear from the housekeeping staff themselves and from Anna, who has a bigger picture of everything. But anyway, back to the agenda. I want to, first of all, thank Lib Alston for being our secretary and producing minutes month after month. And did they put I don't know if you can read them, but we do have new members on the housekeeping committee. So I want to make sure you know who they are. If they live in your area or you know them, please feel free to talk to them about any housekeeping issues. Of course, Lib Alston, who's in East, Ginger Malice, who's on First Floor West, Sandy McCrae, who contributes in so many areas, Carol W. Brown, who's here, yeah, over there, okay. She's in West. Pat Guthrie. Dee Hammonds is new to the committee this year. Betsy Hopkins in East. Shantha McDonald in the Cottages, yay. And Judy Scruton in East. So at our meeting, present was everybody I just mentioned, as well as Shanda Jones. I met somebody the other day who didn't know who she was. Anyway, she is the environmental services, the head of environmental services. Lupe Ontiveros and Anna was there too. We reviewed our mission, which is primarily communication to residents, to sum it up. We also reviewed in detail what is included in each of the services that are regularly provided by the housekeeping staff, which is biweekly cleaning and, of course, the deep cleaning. This can all be found, by the way, on K4. If you go to the shortcuts, one of the choices that pops up is resident services, and it's all in there in as much detail as any of us have. A recommendation was made that we have a topic to focus on each month, and I thought that was a great idea. February's topic will be preparing for deep cleaning. And I think that's a wonderful idea. That was Lib's idea too. So that's one of the things that we want to do this year, is have a topic at each meeting, and maybe we can include that in the link. I don't know. Anyway, our meetings are the last Tuesday of the month at 1:30 p.m. in the meeting room. And there should be a notice in the link unless there's some kind of missed communication. So I want to invite everybody to come and ask any questions that you have, and bring your dissatisfaction or your praise to the meeting, to the people involved. Strother.
Is real time telling the cleaners in my apartment that they're not doing a good job, or should we come to you? We shouldn't tell them directly, should we? if
Well-
they're missing something, or
You can certainly communicate with them, but
just be polite in doing it?
I, preferably Lupe.
Don't talk to, yeah, okay. I think
Thank you,
that's okay.
Anna.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Shantha McDonald, Landscaping. Shantha's fairly new to our community, but boy, she jumped in with all fours, and we thank you.
You mean I had a choice?
No,
Okay. Okay, well, good morning, everyone. I'm Shantha McDonald. As he said, I'm very new. I've been here almost a year, maybe just about a year now. But anyway, this morning I'm doing the Landscape Committee report. And the Landscape Committee met on Wednesday, February 4th, and to approve previous minutes. My report is more formal. I wish I knew how personable y'all are. I could have prepared one like that too, but this is a little bit more formal. But anyway, we had our meeting on February 4th to approve previous minutes and align goals for the upcoming year. And the meeting focused on establishing new new reporting protocols, assigning area monitors, and launching a sustainability initiative regarding native plants. And General Manager Anna spoke to us and gave us an outline, the strategy for the upcoming year. She addressed the committee to outline the strategy for the upcoming year. She presented the guidelines to help the committee identify landscape problems and effectively assist the landscape management company in resolving them. But the strategic planning and funding for landscape initiatives will be managed directly by the administration. So we're not going to be talking about, whether we have money for something or not. That's up to them to figure it out. So we just point out the issues that need to be resolved. So to ensure comprehensive coverage of the property, 4 volunteers have been assigned to monitor and report on specific zones. And those are East Campus, Steve Trudnak; West Campus, Kitty Marlowe; East Cottages, Danny Askew; and West Cottages, Tom Dyerly. We had a guest at this meeting. Dick Bergen was a guest at this meeting. He proposed the implementation of native plant garden, which is a great idea. So the whole committee jumped on it with both feet, and they all agreed that we need to have something like that. So we formed a subcommittee to handle that part of it, because everybody's interested in doing it. It's great for the environment and for our campus. So anyway, so we formed a subcommittee, and it's led by Dick Bergen. It's subcommittee of the Landscape Committee. And majority of the Landscape Committee members have volunteered to be in it, so that's going to be really good. And the subcommittee is currently working to launch the project with the following environmental and operational objectives. And those are to reduce the water usage, decrease the areas that need mowing. When we have native plant areas, we won't have grass there. We will have all these plants that don't require pruning, or, they're very low maintenance. Lower consumption of mulch and pine straw, and also to support the local environment. Various specific landscape issues were discussed at this meeting, which are recorded in the minutes. There are several, so minutes will be available to you if you would like to see them, but I'm sure the RAB has it already. And we as the committee aim to resolve portions of those issues that came up prior to the next scheduled meetings. So are there any questions?
Do you have a location where you're going to plant the native plants?
We're in the process of figuring that out.
So it'll be different places around the campus?
Different places all over campus.
Good.
So we as a committee will tour the campus and figure out where they need to go, where it's the best place for them, you know.
Good.
Right now, some of us went and walked around West Campus before the meeting, and we kind of identified the area behind the atrium. And if you're looking out the balcony from the atrium, you see that gully area. And I think parts of it is being mowed, and they have cut a path to get to this little patch of land that has grass there.
Okay,
And so we were thinking that, you know, and it's kind of shady, not too many things will grow there. So we thought that would be one of the areas that we would consider for native plants,
Good.
because,
good report. Thank you, Shanta. You're off to a good start.
all right,
You
well,
got a-
thank you.
You got a tough committee. Legislative issues, Larry Jewett is not here, but he's told me that his committee is meeting the end of the month. This is a mid-year election year, what am I trying to say? It's an election year, so that he will have some activity. March is qualifying month, so we'll know later who we need to entertain or talk to, and Larry's on top of that, so we're good with that. Life engagement, Sandy McCrae took over, Karen Harden had to step aside, and she found a very able replacement.
All right, well, thank you. First, I would like to thank Karen Harden. And I know she's not here today because she sleeps in. Anyway, I'd like to thank her for doing such a great job for over 2 years as chair of the LEC. And even though she's stepped away from the leadership role, she will stay on as an active member of the committee, and I'm happy about that. This month, Vicki and Sue, along with the LEC, have filled the February calendar with lots of fun events and great trips. This includes celebrations for Mardi Gras. I'm from New Orleans, so I got my beads. And Valentine's Day and Chinese New Year and a bunch of other fun things. And the Mardi Gras Tour of Doors is going on right now. Participating doors are scattered, I realize, through the east and west. And a lot of you don't like to walk, but if you do, put on your walking shoes and take the tour, get in your steps, but also do vote for your favorite door. And even if there's some on your hall you want to vote for, that's fine. Just it's important to vote. The winner will be announced at the Mardi Gras Mixer on Fat Tuesday the 17th, and that should be a fun event. We're going to have what's called a second line parade, if you know what that is from New Orleans. If you don't know, you'll find out. So, and also we're bringing back the Village Voice newsletter, but this will be in digital form. We have a really good group of enthusiastic volunteers, but we do need more. So if you know somebody, or if you are somebody who enjoys writing stories, articles, creative pieces, doing photography, design support, or interviewing, particularly interviewing new residents, please come to the meeting tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. And if you can't come, contact Vicki Daugherty and let her know you're interested. And I also want to, I want to ask you, do y'all remember the Peeps show from last Easter time? Well, Vicki has had so many requests to do that again, and so we're going to do that this year. Okay, the Peeps, it's not Peep Show, Peeps Show. It's the little Easter chickens and bunnies, and we created all kind of fabulous things. It's just amazing how creative our residents are. So start thinking about what you could create with Peeps this year, and that will be at the end of March, before Easter. So think about participating. And I think that's all I have.
Thank you, Sandy.
And I've got to sneak off to a PT appointment.
And another important committee, and we appreciate their activities. Farrell, Maintenance and Safety. There is a time limit, Farrell. There's a green light. If y'all don't know this, there's a green light back there, and so far it hadn't gone on caution.
How long do I have? Is it
Until
you
that
said
light comes on.
10 minutes? Is
Until
what
that
you
light
said?
comes on.
I'm disappointed that Pam said that we should not have complaints, because I've made it as my mission to complain about housekeeping every time I see her. So if you have, but good news, in the time I've been chair of this committee, I've only had 2 complaints in a month. So I think that's very, very good. I want to start out giving special thanks to Stephen Anderson and his team for what they did during the ICE event. It was excellent, and I know how hard he worked, and particularly another member of his team in keeping us safe. I'll be brief. First part of our meeting, we talked about why we should serve on a committee. And I told a story when I was asked 20 years ago to serve on a board of Good News at Noon. And the gentleman who recruited me says, "We want you to serve on the committee, but you don't have to do anything." That's not what you ask. And so we started out talking about on our committee how we need to be involved and the expertise that each person brings. We want that brought to the committee. We have our next meeting, we will establish probably 3 goals for the year. One, I hope that the committee will adopt, will special focus on safety. And I have one area I want to talk to you about. We talked about issues that relate to our committee, and one of them has to do with fire alarms.
Thank you.
How many of you have enjoyed a fire alarm in the last year? Well, I hope I have this for Oscar. Hold me a feet to the fire if I say the wrong thing. One of the problems that we've had recently was false alarm because someone burned bacon. And
Or toast.
or toast, that's good. So what should you not do if you burn something and it is not fire, but you burn something, there's a lot of smoke? What should you not do?
Don't open your door.
Good. Exactly. Does anybody know why? The smoke goes out into the hall, and most doors or apartments right outside the door or very near, there's a smoke alarm. When you burn something in your apartment, you have a local fire alarm that goes off. It doesn't go off, just in your apartment. It doesn't go off for the whole building. So if you want all your friends to join you downstairs, you open the door and let the smoke come out. You don't want to do that. When that alarm goes off in your apartment, maintenance and safety are notified immediately. And they send somebody to the location. They know where it is. And they will come help you and determine what needs to be done. What should you do?
Open the porch.
Open the sliding door to your patio, closed-in porch, and open a window. And then you turn on the fan. That's one of the most important things we can do to get information out. And one of our goals, I hope, this year will be to do a better job of communicating with our residents. One area that we're going to focus on, try to have for each meeting this year, is to educate our members about some aspect having to do with safety and maintenance. As I said earlier, we're going to focus on safety. All right, I have not seen the yellow go off yet.
You're good.
I'm
You're
good. All right.
Thank you.
I think there is, one other thing. At our next meeting, we're going to ask each member of our committee to select an area of campus that they're going to focus on and keep their eyes open for some area having to do safety or maintenance and communicate that item. Because our maintenance crew cannot see everything, every hallway, every situation, so we're gonna try to keep our eyes open. And if you see something, particularly with safety, if you make sure you notify, you can notify me, or you can send a work order about it. Any questions? Thank you.
Anna came up to me before the end of the year and said that she wanted to meet with each committee, and she wanted each committee, not when they met, not to beat the things that were going wrong and they've been talking about for months, but to set some goals going forward. And I'm really impressed that every committee that is reported so far has said that they have set some goals. And I'm really impressed with what y'all have done, and I appreciate it. We got memorials, Regina Edmondson.
Thank you, Strother. We met, the Memorial Committee met on January 27th in the meeting room. The members that were present, myself, Carol Brown, Carol Ann Armstrong, Jack Deegan, Karen Hickman, Ashton Johnson, and we welcomed Kalen Mahar and David Lee as 2 new members. We also will welcome Anna next time. She is going to be our staff representative. The other members, there were several that were missing, absent that day. Hopefully they'll be there next time. I reported on the Grove of Remembrance. We only had 1 leaf that was purchased during that month. And we also brought up the fact that there is a book listing all the leaves that have been purchased or requested in memory of a loved one, and it's located in the hallway there across from the chapel. Asden reported that in March or April, Duke will be hosting a dedication service for all of the people who have honored somebody in a form of a memory. And in the link, we will let the people know who will be mentioned. They'll be the new ones for last year. Our fund, we reported that we have $3,652.64 available in the fund. Ashton reported on the Memory Garden Lane funds, which are held at the North Georgia Community Foundation, and these donations are tax deductible. They also have a book there listed in the same location, which will show all of the names of the people who have had benches in memory of someone or a loved one. We have 5 benches that are available to us this year, and so we are anticipating, hopefully, to put some in the new East Cottages areas. That pretty much summed it up. We didn't have a very big meeting. It was my first rodeo, so I'm just learning. And we will meet again on February 24th, and Strother, we will try to come up with some goals for this year. Thank you very much.
The benches, aren't we replacing all the original wooden benches with metal benches? Has all that been done yet on the campus?
No, not all of them. They have some that, but some of the wooden ones are in such bad shape. They're the ones that are going first,
Yeah,
yes. Okay. That is a goal.
Okay.
Thank you, yes.
There was a bench in memory of somebody outside the west entrance or exit going toward Misty Morning Way, that it had a name on it, and the bench was destroyed during some weather event. And it was removed last year and has not been replaced. And what's happening is during a fire drill, our fire drills are usually after dark. Mm-hmm. There are people who have challenges getting outside, need some place to sit. And so I'm wondering what's going to happen with that area where there was a bench, and what about the plaque honoring the person?
I'll have to investigate that because I'm I'm like Shantha. I am relatively new on the committee anyway, and then I landed this position. So I have a lot to learn, and I will check into that, Marie, and see what the story is on it. Okay? Thank
Any
you.
other questions of Regina? Okay. Justine, you're next. You got a report? No, I do not. Okay, she keeps things straight over there in Willowbrook and OBT. Karen Cannon or Kitty Marlowe here? Campus improvement.
Good morning. Our Campus Improvement Committee met on January 29th, and we welcomed 2 new members. We discussed the future plans for an area renovation for Willowbrook Court, and renovations are in the corporate planning stages. In the meantime, our committee has looked at different areas and has plans to update art and in other areas that are out of the responsibilities of ACTS. The 2 end tables in the crossroads here have been refinished and going to be returned today, so that will complete that area there that we've done. Special Projects Committee approved a request for funding for $5,000 to be utilized by the committee for decorating and updates, and we greatly appreciate the committee allowing that for us. Following the updates here in the auditorium and also in the clubhouse, we've been tasked to kind of branch out into other community areas. So, like I said, we're looking at Willowbrook and Oak Ridge and possibly the lobbies of East and West. And as was mentioned in the link on Wednesday, the draperies in this auditorium and also the stage curtain are motorized by remotes, and they're kept in the production booth. Please do not use them manually. We'll probably will have to get the company back out to reset these curtains because they were used manually. And it was an expensive project that Special Projects did do for us. So let's please not do that. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Our community looks beautiful and we appreciate you. Is Carl here? He disappeared. Oh, there he is. Carl Ferguson's going to report on the Employee Appreciation Fund, which falls on the vice president of our association.
Thank you, Strother. Strother, Jimmy Faulkner, Ches, and I had a meeting several days ago and talked about fundraising within the community and the challenges that we face. It was a wonderful meeting. A lot of good ideas surfaced, and we recognized at that point that the Samaritan Fund and the Employee Appreciation Fund offer interesting challenges of different types. We'll have a lot more to say about that later. We appreciate everything that the community does to support those funds, and we look forward to working with you in the year ahead.
Thank you. Jimmy, Samaritan Fund.
Thank you, Strother. I'm pleased to report to you on the activities of your LVE Samaritans Fund. While we do not yet have the audited numbers for our fundraising activities for 2025, all indications are that we slightly exceeded our goal of $100,000. As soon as the audited numbers are available, we will share them with you. I feel that our community should take joy in knowing that we're supporting this worthwhile program in such a manner that those of our community, our friends and neighbors, who through no fault of their own find themselves needing financial assistance, and that they're being supported through the LVE Samaritans Fund. As we began 2026, we welcomed 3 new members to our LVE Samaritan Fund Committee. I know that one of those members is present. I'm not sure that I see, we do have some of those present. And if they're present, I'd like for them to raise their hand as I call their name. Sally Darden, who lives in Cottages East, joined our committee. Pat Guthrie And I know Pat is not feeling well. She's had a terrible cold, I understand, so I don't believe Pat's with us today. Pat lives in West Apartments, and Sue O'Neill has joined the committee, who lives in in West Cottages. So we're happy to have those 3 new members. We did have 3 retiring members, one who retired to heaven and 2 others who are still in our community. We held our first meeting for 2026 on February the 5th. We meet the first Tuesday of each month in the administrative conference room. The first Thursday of each month at 10 a.m. Scott, Anna, and Elizabeth made reports to us, and let me say again, and I said it to Anna and Scott, how much we appreciate our senior management people attending our committee meetings. I think that's very good for them to be seen by us, and they can bring us input that we would otherwise not be aware of. So thank y'all both again for participating. And Elizabeth is our Director of Philanthropy for the Mid-South region. So she has a number of communities, so she doesn't attend in person all the time. When she is able to be here, she does. There was a brief discussion of the plans for the annual Samaritan Fund Brunch, which is scheduled for Saturday, April the 25th. And planning for the brunch will be the majority of our focus for the next few meetings. Are there any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Jimmy.
And let it be noted that I didn't have to get the yellow light.
You what?
I didn't have to get the yellow light.
No. Thank you. We got a report from Don Langer for special projects. He always has some good news to give us about money we've spent.
Good morning. This report is for the LVE Retired Treasurers Incorporated nonprofit corporation, and we have 2 organizations, Special Projects and the Retired Treasurers Thrift Shop. 2025 was quite a year for both of the organizations. The thrift shop, or resale shop rather, had a record-setting year of $74,143. As a point of reference, just 4 years ago, 2022, they set a sales record of $37,000, $37,418. So in those 4 years, it just about doubled. And that's been under the leadership of Kitty Marlowe, and then Ann Damon took over last year, and she's still general manager. In January, gross revenues of the shop was $5,037. Now let's go to special projects. Special projects approved another record-setting amount of $90,629. Some of these significant projects we approved were 3 digital keyboards and digital micro grand piano over in OBT in Willowbrook. We had grants to the Campus Improvement Committee and the Auditorium AV team. Annual funding for the LVE Link, which I think everybody looks at as soon as they wake up. Auditorium upgrades, the new draperies, the new stage curtain, and the blue striped carpeting. And we also shared funding for the LVE chorus director with the Life Engagement Committee. And we provided full funding for the accompanist. And also approved was a very promising new technology for an array microphone. And it was, where was it?
It's gone.
Right up here, there's a hole. It, after a lot of testing, it just did not work out the way we were hoping. And it's been sent back, and we'll get either a credit or a refund for the microphone. There was a lot of additional wiring and work done, and of course we don't get a refund for that. The first quarterly committee meeting was held on January 15th. We had 6 requests for funding submitted. One of the processes we have to go through is all requests for funding, if they concern the building and grounds, have to be approved by Stephen Anderson.
By Scott.
Well, Stephen, but then...
Okay, Stephen and Scott.
And then Scott has to approve all requests for funding. That just means that he approves it, but the committee still has to review it and approve it or disapprove. But of those 6 that were submitted, Scott disapproved 3. And the ones that were disapproved were a 12 by 12 rain screen to protect dogs and their owners when it's raining. That's something outside our field. Also disapproved was the replacement of the East Library porch carpeting. This was already in Stephen's budget, and he's planning on replacing that later in the year. And then there was a suggestion to make a donation of $1,000 to $5,000 yearly to the Employee Appreciation Fund. That was disapproved by Scott. And let me read you the purpose of the Special Project Committee. This is from our organization and procedures. The Special Projects Committee was established to ensure that the funds generated by LVE Retired Treasures, Inc. will be used for the benefit of the general population of LVE residents and/or improvements to the LVE campus. And donating to the Employee Appreciation Fund is way outside the scope of our responsibility. And to be truthful, if that had gone before the committee, it would have been disapproved. So there were 3 requests that were approved. And Karen mentioned those, one of them. It was a grant of $5,000 to the Campus Improvement Committee to use at their discretion in the public areas. There was also a grant of $5,000 for the purchase of large print books for the East and West libraries. And those books are also made available to Willowbrook and Oak Ridge. This is a second grant for large print books. The first one was approved in July of 2023. And then there was a request for $800 for the purchase of specific purpose magazines like the inauguration of a president or the 250th anniversary of the U.S. These are magazines with a lot of information, but pictures, a lot of pictures. And that's really important for people with cognitive problems. So that was, the request was for $800. The committee decided to up that to $1,000, and that was unanimously approved. You know, I've been looking at these slides, and everybody's committee members are mentioned, but not special projects. So I thought I would mention just who's on the committee. I'm the chair. Linda Askew is the vice chair. Dee Hammond's the secretary. Donna Wood is the bookkeeper. Karen Hickman is the retired treasurer's representative. Kitty Marlowe, Kevin Guidry. Strother was on the committee last year, but he stepped back to be president of the Resident Association. We hope he'll come back next year, or in 2 years, or whenever his term ends. And then we have 2 ex officio members. Our executive director, Scott, and then the president of the nonprofit corporation, Augie DeAugustinis. That's all I have. Are there any questions?
I have one.
Yes.
Thank you very much. We totally appreciate special projects and what they do. The recap that you had for expenditures was $90,000 for last year request, but retired treasurers had an income of $74,000.
Yes.
Do we have a slush fund? And how much is in
You know, I
that?
really don't know. I don't remember the exact number.
Balance brought forward from last year. We had
sorry.
money left over from the year before.
Well, my question is, how much is in the slush fund?
We have obligations of about 15,000 as of the end of the year, and we had somewhere around $80,000 in our bank account. So we do have money, yes. And retired
If we
treasurers
come at you with
just,
a big project, I need to know how much I can ask for. Thank you, Don.
okay.
Thank
Any
you,
other
Don.
questions?
They spend a lot of money, but they spend it wisely, and obviously there are a lot of checks and balances that go into that. Retired treasurers, I work down there once a month, and those ladies work hard. So that $74,000 was well earned because they work hard down there. We need to appreciate them. Okay, we're to new business now. I was walking down the hall and Duke Walker was in the conference room. That's going to be the new meeting room and spiritual life reading room. As you know, all preachers or pastors have tons and tons of books. Most of them, I'm sure they never read because they're given to them by people in the congregation. He's moving the books out of his office into the bookcases up there. So that's going to be a very nice spiritual life reading room. He said to tell you that there'll be a grand opening sometime in March on that, but it'll still be used as a meeting room for groups, but it's also going to be the spiritual life reading room, which will be a nice addition. Okay, here's what we've been waiting on. We're going to do introductions. I bet if I asked Barbara if she knew the name of everybody, she'd probably say yes, but she wouldn't really know you. So what we're going to, I feel like, and all of you have been on nonprofit boards over the years. It was a smaller board than this. You knew everybody. So I think it's important if you're on a board serving our community that you know each other. So that's what we're going to do. Now, there's one rule. You can't just raise your hand and say, my name's Strother. You gotta say more than that. So I'm gonna go first, just to give you an example. Doesn't need to be more than about 30 seconds, but we want your name, and we want how long you've been at LVE, and probably where you came from, and then at least one thing about you that you want us to know. And I hope that Kay will give us her history, because it's fascinating. So I'm gonna give it an example, and you can take it for what it's worth. I'm Strother Randolph. Cindy and I have been in 6 East for almost 5 years. We moved here from Gainesville, exactly 2 miles down the road. And we've been in Gainesville almost 49 years. My professional career consists of 48 years in the property and casualty insurance business to the last 32 years with the Norton Agency. And I know you've seen lots of yellow signs around. That's our real estate division. I was born in Virginia, raised on a farm, and graduated from the University of Virginia. One other tidbit, I have written and published my memoirs, which a few of you know. And if anyone wants to know more about that, I have some copies that I can pass on to you. Lynn, you go next.
Surprise. I have read the memoir.
All right, thank you. Microphone.
I'm Linda Askew. I've been at LVE for 4 years, can hardly believe it. We moved from downtown Gainesville, Springdale Road, where we had lived for 45 years. We knew a lot of people here who were in the first wave of people that came to LVE. And we visited them and we saw what a continuing care community can do. And it was great, it worked. So we're glad to be here. Graduated from the University of Georgia. My husband graduated from the University of Georgia and Medical College of Georgia. He practiced medicine here till 2004 when he happily retired. I have loved nonprofit work in Gainesville, Hall County. I've had the good fortune to work with a lot of community organizations, a lot of boards. Strother and I have served together on a number of boards. So I'll just say I'm glad to be here. Live in East Cottages.
She was on the steering committee to organize LVE. She's on the plaque that's out in the lobby.
Yeah. I didn't think it had anything to do with me at the time. But
Tom.
younger.
Can you hear me? It's on.
Yeah.
I'm Tom Dyerly. I live in West Cottages on Valley Hall Lane. Catherine and I have lived here about 5.5 years. Came here from Laurel Park, which is a suburb of Hendersonville. Jump off mountain. That's where we spent 15 years. And I spent most of my career with the Travelers, and not property casualty, but in the group insurance or employee benefits, as they call it, and moved around in the beginning. So lived a lot of places, but ended up in Hartford, and then retired and went to Western Carolina. I'm a graduate of VMI and have a master's degree, an MBA from University of Dayton. We've been married 40-some years.
Okay. Good. Thank you,
I have to
Tom.
look inside my ring.
Barbara.
Thank you. My name's Barbara Roper, and I live in West Apartments. I went to Sweetbriar College and then graduate school at Emory. I was in real estate and had a little catering business earlier. I'm very lucky because I have a brother and a sister-in-law who came before I did, and that's been really nice to have them here. And I have a husband in OBT, which he's getting very good services there and care. But I would like to talk to the special funds group about maybe some improvements over there.
Thank you, Barbara. Who's your brother? Brantley Burns is her brother.
Hello, everybody. I'm Lynn Sharp. We've lived here almost 3 years. We moved here from St. Augustine, Florida area. Having lived all over Florida for 50 of our 57 years of marriage, I finally got my Floridian husband out of the state up here into God's country. So I'm a native of Atlanta. I was born here, but had not lived here for very much of my life. Grew up in Ohio and went to college at Florida Southern College, where I met Ray. And let's see, what more can I say? I love living here. I think this is a wonderful community. I do sales pitches all the time to friends of mine I left down in Florida. But so far, nobody's a taker. Maybe in a couple of years.
Thank you, Lynn. Brian?
I'm Brian McCartney. My wife Joyce and I have lived here for 2 years. We live on 3 West. We moved here from Griffin, Georgia, south of Atlanta. I've been an associate pastor in Baptist churches for 40 years. Retired in 2018. We stayed in Griffin until we moved here, and we love LVE.
Excuse me. I'm Kay Scholes. Was born and grew up and did a bachelor's and master's in West Virginia. Then we got married. We moved to Connecticut, where my husband was chaplain of the Masonic Home and Hospital, which is a facility very similar to this one.
Hold it closer.
Hold it closer, okay. And then he took a parish in Massachusetts, so we went up there, and we were there for 13 years, and he had to take a medical retirement at like 45 years of age. And so they said, get out of New England where it's so cold. So we moved to Annapolis, where I took a job as a prof at the Naval Academy, and I think that's what Strother was recommending. While we were there, neither one of us had been involved with the military before, so they have what they call a sponsor program for the freshmen, which basically is somebody either an officer on the yard or somebody in the community. It's unofficially adopts or sponsors 1 or 2 midshipmen. So we adopted 2, and it only is official for the first year, but they're now in their early 50s, and I still stay in contact with them. Then we got 6 more, and all of them were boys except for the last one, who was a girl, and she knew how to fly when she came to the academy, but she wanted to be a pilot. So she was offered a flying billet with the Marine Corps, which are very coveted, things. And she knew she was not going to stay in past her commitment, so she turned it down and became a ground Marine, where she learned to use the assault rifles and all the other kind of weaponry. Then she got out of the Navy and became a Roman Catholic nun.
Okay. Catherine.
I'm Catherine Ferguson. My husband and I, Carl, live on 5 East, and we've been here 2.5 years. I was born and raised in Springfield, Missouri, and then our adult lives we're spent in Alabama. We lived in Tuscaloosa for 35 years, and then our first retirement we moved to Mentone, Alabama. Any of you know about Mentone? We loved Mentone, but it does not provide what you need as you continue to age. So we found Lanier Village. We found it online. We looked We looked Alabama, Tennessee, Georgia for places, and we decided this was the best place. We have no family here, have no Georgia connections. I went to University of Missouri and got a bachelor's, and then after we moved to Alabama, I went to law school. I am a retired attorney in solo practice. We have a daughter who lives in Huntsville, Alabama, and we have a son who lives in upstate New York.
I'm Sue Bergen-Smith. I'm an alternate for 4th East. I've been here 5 years. We have 3 children. 2 of them are twins. I moved here, I lived in Hanover, Pennsylvania all my life. I was born and raised there. And when we decided to retire and get out of the snow and ice area, we built a beautiful home on Lake Gaston in North Carolina, which we enjoyed living there for 14 years. We sold that home, moved to the Villages, Florida, and after my husband passed, I stayed there 3 more years, realizing that I needed to be closer to family. So upon research, and I toured several ACTS communities, I decided to move to LVE, and I'm very glad that I'm here. Very happy to be here. Thank you.
Robert.
Robert Mills. My wife Mary and I have been here 3 years, beginning our 4th. It's been a good move for us. I know both of our daughters were pretty excited when we told them what we were doing. And over a period of about a year and a half, we finally got our house cleaned out completely and then put it on the market and got it sold. But Mary and I, my wife, we were public school teachers. Actually, she taught on the Air Force Base in Warner Robins, Georgia while we were there. But she was an elementary teacher, and I was in the high schools. I coached high school football and various other sports. I grew up in South Georgia, almost in Florida, and Mary grew up here in Gainesville. So when we decided to leave Warner Robins, we headed toward Gainesville. Lived in Oakwood for over 40 years and made the move up here. We brought with us, out of a 4,000 square foot house into a 1,200 square foot apartment, we brought everything in a couple of trucks and one little covered trailer. So, and no, we don't have a storage unit anywhere in town.
Thank you. Oscar?
I'm Oscar Wiltsey. This is Wiltsey and Wiltsey, but we're not a law firm. I'm a country boy from upstate New York. Been 50 years in the fire and rescue services across 4 states because I have trouble keeping a job. And we've been here at LVE for a little over 2 years, and we're just very happy to be here.
Okay.
I'm Helen Wiltsey. Oscar's my brother-in-law. I've been told he could be my son, my brother, my husband. I was married to his brother. So that's where the connection comes from, and it's caused a lot of humor over the last couple of years since they've been here. I grew up in upstate New York also, was born in Eden, New York, and grew up in the Finger Lakes area, went to college at Florida State, and moved to Atlanta to take a job at Georgia Tech and a master's degree at Emory, and I was going to stay 5 years. I retired from Tech with 30 years, and it's been 34 years since I retired. I have, during that time, done mostly nonprofit activity, and I'm a librarian, so there's always been a library someplace. We moved to LVE in 2013. I finished 12 complete years, December 31st.
Thank you, Helen. And she's a world traveler. If you ever want to know about a cruise ship, ask her. She's been on all of them.
Good morning. I'm Carol W. Brown. I live in the West Cottages, and I'm a transplanted Yankee. I married a Southerner, and we met in Schenectady, New York, where he was working with GE, and we started marrying life in Atlanta, and then where I taught school. And then we were moved to Macon, and we actually lived in Macon for 34 years. And we had 3 children, and they consider Macon home, where they grew up. But then when we retired, we knew it was just too hot to play golf in Macon in the summer. So we moved to Flat Rock, North Carolina, which is near Hendersonville. And that's where we moved from to here. And I'm in my 11th year, and my husband passed away 3 years ago. So we knew we had made the right move when we moved here. We had some great times.
Thank you, Carol. And you're really new, aren't you, Rosemary?
I'm really new. I'm new on the committee, and I'm new here. My husband and I moved here about a year ago. We like it. We're in the East Building. We are from Cincinnati, Ohio, but we have lived in Georgia, Gwinnett County, and Hall County for about 54 years, something like that. We spent 22 years on Lake Lanier in our home, which we absolutely loved because we are both outdoor people. We love camping, we love boating, we love the water, and so we had 22 wonderful years. And then we decided that we needed to be looking at a place like Lanier Village. And of course, we knew people here, and we knew about it because we'd lived here so long, and we love it. Like I say, we're from Cincinnati originally. We have 2 children, a girl who lives and her family live in Duluth. And then our son lives, unfortunately, in Seattle, which is quite a trip, but we try to get there often. We have 6 grandchildren. I've been involved, I attended the University of Cincinnati, Miami of Ohio. I've done a lot of volunteer work over the years. I think I actually started volunteering when I was about 15. While I worked, I still volunteered. While I stayed home and took care of children, I still volunteered. And I enjoy giving back to my community.
Right. Thank you, Rosemary.
You want to hear from us, don't you,
I do.
Strother? Yep.
We do.
He warned us. He warned me in advance, and I let Anna know. But Scott Cairns, Executive Director here now about 20 months, LVE, with ACTS for over 10 years now. 21 years, born and raised in Michigan, lived there for 21 years. Took a job with a company out of college, Michigan State University, in Utah. Lived there 5 years, met my wife. Loved the outdoors and just the beauty of Utah. Then Florida for 30 years, and now here 2 years. So something interesting about all 4 of those locations I've lived in, they have the largest lake. We were near the largest lake in each state. So the Great Salt Lake, Lake Okeechobee in Florida, Lake Lanier here, and Lake Michigan. Well, Superior is actually bigger than Michigan, but we were surrounded by it there. Don't know what that means. Grew up on a lake, a small lake, but maybe that means I'm meant to live near water for my life and mountains. So this is a beautiful area. We love it. 4 children, ages 23 to 32 at this moment. 2 boys and 2 girls, boy, girl, like it was planned. And just love what I do, love serving you and serving my team members. So
thank you, Scott.
Well, funny you say that, Scott. I'm from the land, Anna Gadban, General Manager and Director of Hospitality. I'm from the land originally of 10,000 Lakes. I was born and raised in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I went to College of St. Catherine, I think now rebranded as St. Catherine's University, was a private Catholic women's college. And then I also attended Emory here for interior design. I started working at a hotel when I was in college, and funny enough, it was owned by Travelers Insurance Company in St. Paul, Minnesota, St. Paul Hotel. And that really inspired me to get into hospitality. So I've been in hospitality for about 26 years now in different leadership capacities and general manager, and did a lot of new builds and openings. I know Farrell, we had a really great conversation in the maintenance committee about our love for just maintenance and development. I spent 7 years in California as well for managing a Hyatt Regency and a retreat center out there, and spent years working for Marriott and Starwood as well. And I have 1 son and a daughter-in-law and 2 grandchildren, and I've been a widow about 7, 8 years now. So, and I've been here for 8 months almost. So
thank you. We're glad to have you. Quick, Caroline.
I am brief. My name is Caroline Mixon. I've been at LVE for 3 years. I'm originally from Alabama, University of, My job here is secretary of this august association. I'm also in charge of external sales for retired treasurers, which is my passion. I love that job. I'm a genealogist with the Daughters of the American Revolution, so the 250th birthday is hot on my calendar. I'm trained as a dietitian. I was at the medical center for many years. I married a Clemson Emory Dental School periodontist, that's my first passion. I have a daughter, Heather McGee, who took the practice. And the most interesting thing I've ever done was to operate the alpaca breeding farm in South Hall County. I had over 200 head, and it is so far from what my professors thought I would be doing, but I loved my animals, greatest livestock, and I enjoy all of you so much.
That's
You
a lot of
enrich my
alpaca
life.
sweaters.
I'm Marie Oakes, treasurer of the board, as you know. I've lived in LVE with my husband for 12 years. We moved in the same day as Helen Wiltsey did, December 31st of 2013. I originally came from Skokie, Illinois. Spent half of my life there, and then moved south. Most recently moved here from Oak Ridge, Tennessee, where my husband worked at the National Laboratory. I have 7 children. No, I have 3 children, 7 grandchildren. Thank the Lord I didn't have 7 children. So 3 children brought me 7 grandchildren, and I just had my 14th great-grandchild 2 weeks ago.
Congratulations, I guess.
Yes. My husband and I met on an airplane in California, and were married a year and a half later. We volunteer at the hospital together, cuddling babies, and it helps with not having any of the family living anywhere near Georgia. I graduated from Kennesaw State. I'm a Georgia CPA. My husband and I also love to travel. We've been to every continent except for Antarctica, which we are making plans to visit next year. And our passion is to visit all the national park sites in the U.S., of which there are 433, and we've been to 416. We love to dance. Sometimes you'll see us dancing in the lobby at 4:45 when the accordionist is playing.
Thank you, Marie.
I'm Carl Ferguson. I'm Catherine's husband. We, God willing, we will have been married 60 years in September. That's probably my greatest accomplishment, and surely it's hers. I graduated from Southwest Missouri State, where Catherine and I met on a blind date at New Year's Eve. There's some stories there somewhere that must be told later. We spent time at Huntsville, Alabama, where we were in the military for 3 years, returned for graduate work at University of Missouri, in Columbia, Missouri, and then 31 years at the University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. It was an amazing time. We retired in 2006. We've been now retired 20 years, which is hard to believe, and really looking forward to working with all of you.
Okay, thank you, folks. I appreciate you humoring me with this, but I think we all learned something, and we're a better group for what we've done. We're fixing to adjourn. The next meeting is the second Thursday of March, which is the 13th. It's the 12th? All right. I'll only read what I see. It said March 13th, March 12th, second Thursday I will be on a cruise with my lovely wife, so Carl will be in charge. We know the committee chairs are here. Hopefully all of them are here to get pictures taken by Jack Anthony. You notice how good the 5 of us looked in the elevators. We're going to do the same with the committee chairs as we're able to get their pictures. So if there's no other business, any other business, we stand adjourned.